Hey everyone, Jeremy here. Welcome to part 2 in this 2-part tone sample series focusing on the Neural DSP Omega Ampworks Granophyre along with the ML SoundLab Mikko IR plugin and the GGD Zilla IR plugin. In this video, we're going to take a look at how we got the tones released in the video last week. I'll put a link up here in the corner. Go give that a listen. Come on back. We'll jump into Logic and break down how we got that tone. All right, everyone, welcome back. Let's just jump into Logic and take a look at how we got that tone. So the first thing is we'll take a look at the EQ going in each of these channels. This is the very first thing happening. This is simply a low and a high pass. So we have a low pass at 14,000 hertz and a high pass at 90 hertz. Then we have and that's consistent across both the left and the right channels. Then we have the Omega Ampworks Granophyre plugin. And these settings are consistent across both channels as well. So you can see all of the settings that we have going on here on the amplifier itself. I'm not going to read through every single one. You can take a screenshot, but I'm also going to be exporting the presets as well and sharing those in the comments of this video. So in the pedal section, we have the plumes. This is engaged. The mode is set to 1. Gain is off. Tone is right at about 12 o'clock. Level is about maybe 1 o'clock. And we are using the KT66 tube. And the EQ and the IR speaker section are off in this plugin because we are using an external IR. And that is the very next thing up. In the left channel, it is the ML SoundLab Mikko. And here we're using 4 microphones. So the very first one is the Mega Old cabinet with a dynamic 57 mic. We have a Mega Old with a Ribbon 121. We have a Mars 71 with a Ribbon 121 mic and another Mega Old with Ribbon 121. The other thing to note here is the impedance and cut. So we are using a tone of US 412, whereas there are 4 settings. There's off, combo, UK 412, and US 412. And I have the highs up at about 58% here. And then the low cut at about 50 hertz. And then the next thing is the Slate Digital Infinity EQ, and this is just to pull out some of this lower end that I heard that was just not sitting well in the mix, at least for me. It was just above 100 hertz, just dropping some of that out. And this is the consistent low pass as well. This is that 14,000 hertz. And so then the very last thing happening is going into a Slate Digital compressor, and this is just to kind of tighten up the tone a bit. And so those settings are all consistent across both channels. And the only difference between the left and the right channels is the IR, the impulse response. So in the right channel, we're using the GGD Zilla IR. And you can see the settings here. We're using 2 oversized cabinets. The first is an angled 4x12. The other is a straight 4x12. In the angled, we're using the G12 K100 speaker along with the C414 microphone and the volume set at 0. On the other OS oversized cabinet, we're using the Vintage 30 speaker with an SM57. Again, the volume at 0. And the third cabinet we're using here is a Super Fat Boy 2x12 with a V30 UK speaker and an SM57 microphone, volume pulled back to about 5. And we'll go ahead and give these 2 guitar tracks a listen, soloed by themselves, so you can hear what they sound like. So that's them together. Here is just the left, which is the Granophyre and the ML SoundLab Mikko. And on the right, the Granophyre and the GGD Zilla cab. So that is what they sound like. The only other settings that I changed between the video last week and this week are some of the levels on the drums, as well as the bass, some additional EQing to some of the drums, and added a little bit more room microphone to the snare, as well as a little bit more reverb across the drum bus, and that's essentially it. Overall, just trying to add in a little bit more high end across the mix to give it a little bit more clarity. Some of the comments I received were that there's a lot of mid-range happening, but not a lot of clarity coming through. So try to boost up some of those highs a little bit, make things come through a little bit more clear. All right, so those are the settings and the tweaks that I made to the mix. let's go ahead and give the mixes a listen comparing last week to this week. So this is last week. I'm going to play a few seconds and then jump to the middle. All right, so that was last week. Here's the new mix for this week. All right, everyone, that is a wrap on part 2 of this 2-part tone sample series focusing on the Neural DSP Omega Ampworks Granophyre, along with the ML Sound Lab Mikko IR plugin and the GGD Zilla Cab IR plugin. What are your thoughts? Was the mix an improvement when comparing it to last week? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to chat with you about how I could continue improving the mix. If you liked what you saw in this video, please do subscribe, hit like and share, and don't forget to hit the bell so you're notified when I upload new videos. And as always, thank you for watching and thank you for your support.